I'm learning to not get so attached to my pain and suffering. Like, not take it so personal. I don't have this life thing figured out. Like, I literally have no idea. But there's a part of me that's like, this is teaching me something. And it's gonna turn me into a very wise person. I'm accepting that life is not for me to figure out. Life is just for me to live. I don't need to know everything to get through this journey. I just need to learn from my mistakes, because mistakes are inevitable, and keep moving forward. One thing that I wish I knew earlier on this journey of life is that suffering and pain is just, it's a part of the journey, and it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you're bad at life. It's literally just a part of the journey, and it's a learning tool. It shows you reality, even though reality can be really harsh. Another thing I wish that I was better at in this present moment is like patience. It's okay to fail. Like, it's completely okay to fail. It's okay to be at a low point. Like, life isn't always about being at your best and thriving and just being your highest functioning self. Like, sometimes you just hit a wall and you're just like in a slump, and sometimes you could be in a slump for like years just trying to figure it out, and that is okay. Like, that's life. And I feel like social media and like other things makes us feel like those things are not normal. But like hardships, not knowing who you are, not knowing what you want to do, not knowing who you want to be. Unfortunately, in this capitalist society that glorifies money making as a main goal instead of self-discovery, you're bound to be in places where you're just anxious and you just don't know who you are and like where you want to go and what you want to do. And like, I just don't want people to feel alone in that. The reason I make these videos is because like a lot of the time, like I just know for me, like a lot of the time, like being in a dark place, you really feel like you're alone. And then sometimes realizing that you're not alone and that being in a dark place is normal, and it's something that a lot of adults experience, like realizing that can be overwhelming. Like, it's been hard for me to truly accept that suffering, hardship, pain, doing things that you don't want to do, experiencing things that you don't want to experience is a part of life. Like, it is a part of adulthood, especially, and even childhood. Like, it's literally a part of life. People say you create your own reality, but you're not in control. Like, you're not in complete control of everything that happens to you and everything that happens in the world. Like, look at COVID. No one was in control of reality when COVID happened. COVID was completely out of our control, and we had to adapt to those circumstances. So we're really just adapting and coping with circumstances. Like, that's what being a human is. I feel like in some cases you have the power to adjust your mind, your circumstances, and then make actions based on what you've been given. But I don't actually believe that you have full control over your reality, because for one, things take time. There are things that happen that are out of your control. There are tons of things that are out of your control. So saying that we have full power over creating our reality is dismissing the fact that there are tons of things that are out of our control. Like, we're only human, and humans are intelligent, but we don't have it figured out. Like, look at our society. The fact that we're intelligent, highly intelligent, intellectual beings who have the power to communicate, yet we still think that war is a way to solve problems. Like, that's just very, like, barbaric and animalistic and unethical. So I think that we as a human race have a lot of work to do. There are times when I have completely given up on the idea that our world can improve. I think that when it comes to America, capitalism stands right in the way. Capitalism, if this was America and this was improvement and there was a road, capitalism is like the giant boulder that sits right in front of it all and really stops us from truly progressing as a race, as the human race. And yeah, I truly believe that, because this country's foundation is built in a way where people inevitably suffer when we really don't have to. Like, to me, our potential is way too high, and we are way too intelligent to like allow ourselves to not advance. And I'm not talking about technological advancements, I'm talking about humanism, like the improvement of humanity. But unfortunately, a lot of people may not care about the well-being of the world as much as I do. I look at myself and the way that I think, and I look at like other good people within my life that I've met, and I'm like, the human race has so much potential. Like, we could truly build a world where, in my mind, it seems possible for us to build a world where humanity works together for the empowerment and well-being of each other. And capitalism, I think, stands in the way of that, because I feel like people are afraid to embrace a system that is different than what we're already experiencing. And there are people who experience comfort within capitalism, which I feel is an illusion, because in a system like this, no matter what, you are guaranteed to face some type of hardship and some type of problem, whether it's internally because we are not taught to discover ourselves and analyze ourselves and uplift ourselves. We're taught basic knowledge that really has nothing to do with our own personal growth and well-being. And that is what we're given to use to navigate in the world. And I think it's sad that we hide the harsh realities of the world from children and then wait for them to grow up and realize the harsh realities of being an adult and leave them for them to figure it out for themselves. Like, I don't agree with that. I feel like I don't know. I feel like a lot of change has to be made, but I really don't know if it's possible. Like, my point of view as the world has been so, it has changed so much because I see reality for what it is, and my point of view has changed a lot. Like, my point of view on reality in the world has changed a lot. Mostly in a negative way. Like, I'm just like, there's so much evil in the world and there's so much uncertainty and nothing is guaranteed, and you're just a vessel in this world and you're not really safe unless you believe in God or the divine, that you're divinely protected. But the idea that there is none and that they're not there is like, with the reality of the world, it's like even more horrifying. But I've pretty much given up on trying to figure those things out. I just pray about things that I want and things that I wish for myself and the world, and I just put that energy out there and just hope that I attract that into my life. But there's really no right or wrong way to live this life. No one has it figured out, and everything, unfortunately, is about making a profit, which completely discards the actual health and well-being of human beings. Is sacrifice for profit. And I think that's really sad. Like, to me, we are stuck in this experience and in this realm. We're born into this experience, we're born into this realm, and I feel like the overall goal should be to maximize the experience of this realm in a positive way instead of just maximizing profit. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, it should be like, how can we improve the lives of humanity instead of saying there will just be the haves and the have-nots and that's just it. Like, to me, it doesn't sit well with me, even if it's not me. Like, even if it's not me, it doesn't sit well with me that people suffer immensely in this world and there's nothing that like anyone can do about it. Like, it's hard for me to have peace and be happy knowing that I live in a world where people suffer, and I don't feel like suffering has to be inevitable. I think that in our current system and in our current society and the way that humans are now and the ignorance, that is the reason why suffering is inevitable. And just when I think that I lose hope in the world, it's like I sit down and I turn on this camera and I talk to these videos, and it's like, yeah, if human beings really wanted to, we could create a better world for ourselves. And like, I don't know if a lot of people like just don't agree with the fact that capitalism is not a way to create a better world for ourselves. Like, it's not. It's not. Like, I can't even get into the amount of suffering that just the earth, take away the people, just the earth alone is suffering at the hands of capitalism. Like, there needs to be a change. And I've decided that until I see evidence of the possibility of a brighter future, I've decided that like I'm probably not going to have children, because I don't want to bring a child into an existence where suffering is inevitable and then have them suffer and look at me like you brought me here, you brought me into this world where I'm suffering. Like, that would pretty much make me the cause of their suffering, because I brought them into the world that I know suffering is inevitable. And I would not want to do that to an innocent entity that comes from me. But yeah, I feel like the idea that you create your own reality is a facade, because if people truly created their own realities, then suffering as a human being probably wouldn't be inevitable. Like, or maybe, let me backtrack. Maybe we unconsciously create our own suffering at times, but there are times when suffering happens that we didn't create. And yeah, like, I'm kind of like debating the idea that we create our own realities, because that kind of dismisses the fact that there are things that are out of our control. Like, life is the way that it is. I didn't create capitalism. If I created this existence, then my ancestors would have never been enslaved and oppressed by the government. Like, there are things that happen in life, in society, that are out of my control, and I have to adapt and cope with the circumstances. So truly, I believe that we are just adapting and coping. We're adapters and we're copers. And I like that idea much better than you create your own reality. I think people should say you have the ability to adapt and cope through your circumstances. To me, that's a little bit more realistic, because the idea that you create your own reality, it just seems so out of reach for me, because obviously I want to create something beautiful, but at times I still suffer, and it just makes me feel like that idea is just out of reach. But I am able to adapt and cope, and then from there do my best to create better well-being for myself, which is a part of adapting to circumstances. So yeah, I don't know if I'm making sense, but I love speaking my mind on this app. I feel like I should do it more often, because, you know, I go through a lot of ups and downs. Life is like a roller coaster. And like, the lows, like the lows are just a part of life. The lows are just a part of life. Like, it's just a temporary, very, very negative, harsh, upsetting feeling, but it's temporary. It will pass. It doesn't feel good while you're in it. Sometimes it's unbearable. Like, you guys, there are times when, like, I literally just think of suicide. Like, I just think of suicide, and because I'm just like, this world is so cold. Like, I realize the realities of it, and I am not cold. Like, I'm not tough. I'm not cold. I'm delicate like a flower, and I'm sweet, and I love helping people, and I love spreading positive energy, and I love creating stuff, and I love seeing people happy. And when I see people sad and suffering, it hurts me. Like, I'm sensitive. I'm not this tough. I am strong. Like, I am strong, but I'm not this, like, tough, like, I don't know what other words to use, but, like, I'm delicate and soft and sensitive, and this world is rough, and, like, I try to adapt, but I just cry. Like, I just cry for this world that I have to endure, because, like, I really wish things were different, and I wish that there was a different world available for our future children. But I'm holding on to my hope. Truly. Yeah, I truly am. And yeah, so thanks for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up, like, if you liked what I had to say. Subscribe. Oh, subscribe. I don't know where the subscribe button is. I think it's over here. Subscribe, and yeah, let me know other videos that you want me to do. Like, if you let me know if you want me to keep, like, speaking my mind like this, because this is like therapy to me. I really enjoy it, even though I'm a little bit anxious. Just, like, I don't know if my point of view is actually making sense. Like, I'm a very naive girl. I dream of world peace. I dream of peace. I don't always have peace, but I dream of it. And I dream of a better world. And literally, all I do throughout my life, all I think about is how I can contribute to making this world better. There's a fire that burns within me that tells me that I need to do things to make this world better. It's because this world needs to be better. And as a piece of humanity, I feel like any little thing I can do is, like, important. So, like, I want to be the change that I want to see. And it's hard. Even if it's hard, like, you guys have no idea how much I cry. I truly am, like, this sad, delicate, soft girl, like, living in a harsh, cruel, capitalist world. What could be worse? Okay, let me not say that. Let me not say what could be worse, because I'm very grateful for everything I have. Like, I'm a very blessed, fortunate girl. But internally, like, I literally feel like I'm dying sometimes, like, living in this world. It's tough, but, like, I feel like all I can do is just, like, keep spreading positivity and speaking my mind like this. And that's what I'm gonna keep doing. So thank you for watching this video, and yeah, I love you. Bye.